52 cards went out, I'm through dealing now. 52 bars come out, now you feel them now. 52 cards roll out, remove selling the case. 52 bars come out.
Alright y'all, it's Patty K's Kitchen. Hi, and welcome to this edition of Patty K's Kitchen. This is Christmas Eve right now, and you've probably spent all day opening presents and spending time with family. And then you've hit about 10 o'clock and you're like, man, I'm hungry. And there's no stores open, there's no restaurants open, and you've pretty much run out of all your food because all your relatives ate it. And at this point, that's when true cooking comes in. When you're trying to utilize the ingredients that you have and still make something delicious. And so I've taken a look around my kitchen today, and we're going to make some root vegetable cakes with a lovely citrus aioli. And I think it's going to be really delicious. So let's get started. So first of all, we're going to get our potatoes and yams chopped up and boiling in the water. Essentially, we're just chopping them in half, chopping that in half again, and then maybe cutting it into fourths. So this is sort of the size that you're looking for. So we've got our potatoes and yams going for our cakes, and now we're going to get our quinoa going so we can have a nice whole grain to make this a little bit more healthy and a little bit more hearty. And we're going to do 2 parts water to 1 part quinoa, and we're going to get it started at a boil, and then we're going to reduce it to a simmer once it starts boiling, and then cook it until all the water has been evaporated and cooked into the quinoa and it's nice and fluffy. And then we're going to move on to getting our spices and onions and filling for the cakes going, so that they can be cooled and ready to be formed into cakes. Alright, now that we've got our potatoes and yams going, we need to get our quinoa going. So, we're just going to mix 2 parts water to 1 part quinoa. Alright, now we're going to get our flavors and spices going for the mix in the cakes. And that's going to be onions, garlic, mushrooms, cumin, chili powder, cinnamon, ground ginger, and spinach. So first off, we're going to start sauteing the onions. Now we're just sauteing these in canola oil to get a nice flavor going. We're going to get them a little translucent and a little cooked before we start adding our other ingredients. We can add off by, adding a little salt. And then we're going to get some fresh ground pepper in there. Now we're going to start adding our mushrooms and garlic that we've got our onions cooked down a little bit. You never want to add garlic too early or it's going to get a little burnt. You just want it to get a nice oiled flavor to it. And now we're going to add our spices so they can get volatilized by the heat and oil. We're just going to add a little cumin. Add a little ground ginger. Chili powder. And then just a hint of cinnamon. And just add a little bit more salt. Since we aren't salting the potatoes or yams, we can add a little bit extra salt to this mixture here. And we're going to let this saute until the onions get a little translucent, and then we're going to add the spinach. And I just used pre-washed spinach. And we're just going to cook this down until it becomes soft. Now that we've got the spinach all cooked down, we're just going to put it on a plate or whatever's handy. And I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and cool it down. When I like cooking, when I'm doing multiple things, I like it when I just go from one thing to the next, and I like setting it up like that. So we've got our potatoes and our quinoa on, and we've already got our spice mix in the refrigerator, and just now our potatoes are done, so we're going to strain them, and then we're going to cool them in the refrigerator so that they're ready to form the cakes. So we're just going to bring them over here to the sink, strain them off, Make sure you get all the water out real good. And do the same thing that you did with the spike snake. And just put them onto a plate or whatever is handy. And just stick them in the fridge so that they cool down nice and good.
52 bars come out, now you feel them now. 52 cars roll out.